Hey everyone, I'm Jackie here. I really wanted to do a training video real quick to teach you guys about something that I pretty much tell all of my foot zoning clients and a lot of people about in general. It's this thing called magnesium. Magnesium is, I'm sure you've heard of it. Magnesium is in our daily vocabulary, but a lot of people don't understand the power of magnesium. So let me give you a little bit of anatomy and understanding of our bodies. There is the basic electrolyte cell in our bodies, which basically gives us all the energy that we need to do daily tasks and functions, and so many things in our bodies are dependent upon our levels of electrolytes. Magnesium is a part of our electrolytes. And magnesium is this beautiful mineral that our bodies need in order to provide or to function in lots and lots of different ways. And I don't have a long list of everything. I've been told that there's like 800 different processes that are dependent upon magnesium being in place in the body. And so it's kind of a crucial catalyst in terms of lots of things being in place in the body. Magnesium is actually it's really important if your stress levels are really high. Basically, magnesium is the anti-stress mineral, and pretty much if you're living and breathing on our planet today, then you're probably living with some level of stress. And this could be mental stress. So if you can't even shut your brain off at night, then that could be mental stress. Or if you're worried about something, or there's lots of different forms of mental stress. If you are feeling physical stress, including any sorts of muscular or joint pain in the body, even emotional stress, if you're just feeling anxiety or depression, or there's a relationship that's not fully functioning and there's a lot of conflict and tension, there's lots of ways of us feeling stress in our daily lives. And so if you, on a scale of 1 to 10, within the last couple of days, if you can say that you are anywhere above a 2 on that stress scale, a 10 being high and a 1 being really low, if you feel like your stress level is higher than a 2, then you probably need to get some magnesium into your life. Some other really important things to be aware of: if you have hormonal imbalances, if you have diabetes, pretty much any form of physical problem in the body probably could be related back to low magnesium levels. So what is magnesium? How do we get more of it into our lives? And I'm going to share with you guys a challenge and a way to get it in that's pretty simple and easy. So magnesium, a lot of people think, oh, I'll just go to the grocery store, to the health food store, and buy a magnesium supplement. So apparently magnesium, like taking magnesium orally, is not the highest and best way for us to get magnesium into our bodies. I'm not exactly sure why that is, because a lot of other minerals and vitamins and things that we need should be taking orally. And technically we should be getting plenty of magnesium through our food, but over the last 50 to 100 years, our food supply has changed so much that the levels of magnesium in our foods, that like nuts and spinach and I can't remember, there's a long list of things that have magnesium in them, but those types of foods that naturally have it in them, the levels of magnesium over the past 50 to 100 years, because of soil and the way that we're producing our foods and toxins and all sorts of things, are lowering the levels of magnesium that is available to our bodies in those foods. And so we should be getting it through our foods, but that's not happening very well these days. And to push time out on this conversation for a minute, excuse me, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, before like modern civilization was around, let's say you were living, I don't know, maybe in a hunter-gatherer phase, or you were in the farming phase of life, or whatever in the history of our planet, and some bear comes and finds you and starts chasing you. what happens in that moment is your body goes immediately into fight or flight, and I hope that you're going to run away, unless you have the resources to be able to fight the bear and to kill it and to survive. But either way, your body, your nervous system immediately figures out that it needs to either fight or run away. And that's a high stress situation. And so what your body does is it produces tons of cortisol, and cortisol meaning it's the stress hormone in the body, which basically triggers a whole cascade of other events in the body that say, you know what, we need to do something immediately or we're not going to survive this. And so you immediately take action, and it's high stress, but it's supposed to be short durations of period that your body stays in that state of mind, like the fight or flight. Then the bear goes away, or you kill it or something, right? And so you can breathe, and you can bring your body back into a calm state of mind. You can walk back to your village and tell everybody this crazy story of how you just defeated this bear, or you ran on top of a rock and it couldn't get you, or whatever, and you escaped. Like, so you bring your body back down into a peaceful state. But what happens when the bear was chasing you is that your body immediately dumped all of its magnesium, because if you remember a few minutes ago, magnesium is what is really, it's the anti-stress mineral. And so you can't have calmness in the body if you need to be in a high stress situation, meaning like when a bear is chasing you. And so it dumps all the magnesium. But then, hundreds of years ago, you didn't have daily bear encounters. And so they had weeks in between these terrifying experiences to build up their magnesium levels again. They didn't know that this is what they were doing, but they were eating the foods that were helpful to them, to help them calm down and to relax after something crazy like that. And so that's what happens in our current bodies, except for the fact that our bear experiences are constant because of our chronic stress, our work situations, financial stress. There's just constant struggle that most people have bought into. And so our nervous systems are constantly living in a state of stress, which is not good, because lots of other things can't function. This is why a lot of people have major health problems these days. So let's get back to how to get it into our body. So I was talking about orally. You can take magnesium orally, and there's 2 different ways that I've discovered to take it orally. I'm not recommending taking it orally, so don't stop this video and run off to the grocery store and go buy some magnesium quite yet. So orally, you can take it either in like a capsule, with, like normal vitamins that we see. If you are going to do it orally and you take it in a capsule like that, make sure that it's combined with calcium. Magnesium and calcium need to be combined you need to take those together. So make sure on the label it says magnesium and calcium. A lot of times they put other things in there that are really, really beneficial, like all these vitamins that need to be taken together. Side note about calcium, we all have receptor sites on our cells that almost like a door and a key. Like if you're putting a key into a door that the key doesn't fit in, then the door won't open. So that's what these receptor sites are. They're the lock that the key has to go into to open the door to get the whatever thing into the cell. And so calcium, so if we're talking about the door and the lock and key for calcium, no matter what, even if you have the right key to open up that door for calcium, the door can't open up, period, whatsoever, no matter what you do, until after 4 p.m. in the day. So make sure if you're going to take oral magnesium and it has calcium in it, make sure that you take those later in the day after 4 o'clock so that the door can get opened with the calcium in there. So, okay, so there's the oral supplement version. And then there are these powder forms of magnesium. Natural Calm is one of the brands. I've used a couple other powder forms of magnesium. I'm sure if you did a quick Google search of powdered magnesium, it would come up with a list of things. These are nice if you're going to take it orally, because if you're in a chronic state of stress, then you can actually just dump a scoop or two of this into some water, and it fizzes, and it's very effervescent-y, and it fizzes, and you can add other flavors to it or whatever you want, and then you just drink it, and then it's done. So if you're kind of anti-pill and you just want to drink something that's a little bit easier to get down, then that's a solution. The caveat with the powder magnesium is that a lot of times they have, I think it's citric acid is the thing that's the problem. So, and I should have pulled out my bottle to even look at what's on the label, but citric acid, it's either citric acid or citrate acid. I can't remember which one of those two is the problem, but basically it's a preservative that they put in to keep it nice and fresh so that it can stay on the shelf longer and you can keep it in your cupboard for months and months. And but the problem is that the citric acid, or whatever that preservative is it actually punches holes in your gut. And so if you're really working on healing your gut and working through candida and all that fun stuff that comes along with gut health, then I would recommend not doing the powdered forms of magnesium. So here comes my all in all recommendation for what to do with magnesium and how to get it into your body. So I've said that you could do it orally. It's not the best way to get it in because partly through the digestive process, like it kind of messes things up with the magnesium there. Unless it's in food form. So if you want to eat lots and lots of high magnesium foods, then you could do that as well. But the way that I encourage most of my people to get magnesium into their bodies is actually through transdermal magnesium, which means that we get to soak it into our skins. There's into our skin. There's lots of different, well, there's a couple different ways to get magnesium into your skin. Some people actually make magnesium oil that you put it in a little spritzy bottle and you can like spray it onto your skin transdermally like that. That's one way to do it. You do have to find a supplier though that supplies magnesium oil. Another way is actually getting some magnesium flakes, and I'll explain that in a minute, but getting some magnesium flakes and either putting them in a bathtub where your body's exposed to all the beautiful magnesium that's in the bathtub, or the thing that I tend to do because it's just more convenient and easy for me at this point in my life is I soak my feet in water that I have added magnesium to, and that seems to be the best thing to do for me. If you're a bath lover and a bath taker, please feel free to take more baths. It's also a really great self-care ritual to take baths. You light some beautiful candles, put on some awesome music, listen to a book, whatever you want to do, and soak in the bathtub. But for me right now, I don't love soaking in the bathtub. My bathtub, it just isn't very comfortable, and so I just choose to soak my feet. It's easy, it's convenient, it helps me feel really great and luxurious. It's also a really great way for me to do self-care, and it's depositing something really positive inside of me, but then I also know that I'm really taking care of my physical health when I soak my feet. So there's actually lots of different forms of magnesium. So this is a little bit of a chemistry lesson, and I am not a chemist, so we're not going to get into major details about chemistry here. I'll just share with you what I know about magnesium so far. So there are two main parts of magnesium. Like I said, there's probably, I think, 10 or 12 different forms of like chemistry differences in the magnesium that we have access to, but I'm just going to talk about two. There's one that's called magnesium sulfate and magnesium chloride. And to keep this really simple, all of us know what Epsom salts are. So Epsom salts are magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate is very needed in the body. You could Google magnesium sulfate and what it's good for, because I can't recite all those details for you. That's what Google is there for, and other really smart people to share those details with you. So magnesium sulfate is it's important, and it helps with a lot of really powerful things. But how it's been explained to me is that magnesium sulfate is actually more of kind of a short-term a short-term application of magnesium in the body, although it is good for some very specific things. So